হয়ে গেছে, এবারে আপনি চালু করতে পারেন as usual. So viewer, just
Sorry
welcome.
for all this.
Okay দাদা.
Sorry for all this, trouble, because it's not actually my job to, do this computer stuff, etc. I feel much more comfortable climbing than talking and showing and doing all this stuff. However, as I was telling you the story, it started in that 2005, in the month of, that is May or something. So I was there, and then Tripathi asked me that whether it's possible for me to lead an expedition. I would say that today, that is to my viewers who are generally see in this, there's a long way. You can make today your phones in horizontal, so you can see better. If you make your phones horizontal, you will see bigger pictures now. So, however, he said that, okay, we are just requesting you to be a leader of a team, so that we can, whether are you free in August? And then I just adjusted the other two expedition and say that, okay, no problem, I can go. And then I just immediately replied, standing over there, that, okay, I'll be ready for that. But then he said, okay, well, I asked him, what is the peak? And now coming about the peak, that what Rajesh has having that problem, that, okay, what is the name of the peak? In fact, the name of the peak, when I heard also, is a what? I never heard that one. And he said that, okay, I can't tell you the name of the peak. Tomorrow is, PM Das is coming, DG Punjab Police, and he will tell you. Perhaps you all heard about PM Das, who was a very, the fine mountaineer, and he had this, climbed a lot of peaks. And finally, in 2005 itself, when we are going to that Uja Tirche, and he went to that the Chamoy in the Sikkim and died over there with another three other Punjab police people. So, however, when the sound is coming, is it okay? I hope the sound is coming. Please tell me if the sound is low or something.
দাদা সাউন্ড আসছে,
So it's
এভরিথিং
happened
ওকে,
that
যদি কোনো ডিস্টারবেন্স আমি বলে দিব.
okay, ঠিক আছে. So it's the sound. Okay. So next day is the PM Das was there, and he called me in the director's office, and the president was there at that time too, and it was NN Vora that time, the president of IMF. And they told me that, okay, there is a peak. That PM Vora told me, okay, Mr. Mukherjee, he was very, very, there's a polite and all that way. But I said, sir, please call me Debu. So he said, okay, Debu, here is a peak that I saw it in 2003 when I went to Lompa. From the top of Lompa, we have seen that peak. And I had some, the Punjab police people, and I wanted to climb that one. And then, but this year I have to go to this Chomo in Sikkim, so we cannot go over there. So, but I always wanted to have this peak climbed. So I heard that peak was climbed long time back, and is a remote area. So it will be a tough task for you, but check that whichever team you want. So I said that, okay, sir, I don't know where is the peak. He said it's very remote. There's not much roads left on that one. And you have to study everything, you have to do anything. And then I said, okay, I will study. So what I found about the Uja Tirche, that's I started to go to the IMF library, and then I found that name in this 1936 or 37. That's a Himalayan journal published. That is W.H. Murray, one Scottish climber, and he was that time he was doing the survey of India's geological survey of India's mapping was going on, and they climbed that peak through that ridge. So that ridge over that ridge they climbed, that West Ridge, I think they climbed this one, and that is that time. But then when he wrote that, report, he wrote specially that way. Murray writes, it's I'm reading from that one because I like that one. This mountain had been honored with a name in a country where so many great mountains are unnamed by virtue of its foremost position. সত্যি কথাই তো, there are so many, the peaks. I have to speak today a little bit in English, I think. maybe because this will be shared to IMF and other places too. So I'll be speaking mostly in English today. So what's happened? There are so many 6,000-meter peaks in India, but most of them they don't have any names. Only point these, point that, and you can see the height is only 6202 meters. So, but the name is that Uja Tirche. That means when it comes to the year, I pronounce what's a Ucha Tirche? Is a yes, is Ucha Tirche. It's high point and it's kind of a Tirche means it's kind of sharp. It's a sharp high point, so it's known as the Uja Tirche. It's on the border of India and Tibet, now India and China, of course. So, and behind this, just where this ridge is going down, behind this area, under that is the Untadhura. So, people coming from the Milam towards the Malari, towards the Kamet, from Kumayan to Galwal, so that is the Malari to Badrinath Joshimath, they used to use that road. So, crossing to the Untadhura. Untadhura is kind of difficult to get the permission and difficult to cross too. I don't think that the Untadhura is crossed in recent times anymore. However, so what's happened when people just started, you know, when I got that one first, I just started reading that the Uja Tirche's, the report in the T.H. Mures Himalayan journal there, and I find that they climbed this side with some dhotials and they had some plane table over there and did the survey, etc., etc. After that long time, there was no report, nothing. Then in 1968, it was from Calcutta. Of course, Calcutta was always there. From MLA, there's a Mountain Lovers Association. Manoj Bhomik was the leader, and they tried to go over there, but they could not climb. It was unsuccessful. It was published in HHB. It's written. Then in 1974, it was Himalayan Association. They tried. The leader was Shamal Chakraborty. And on October 15th, they followed the southwest ridge, this side ridge. Though it looks like that, but it's got a good, the approach over the top, southwest ridge. And they climbed, and the summiters were Manik Banerjee, Vidyut Sarkar, K.K. Khanna, Kamit Sering, and Kushang Sherpa. Two Sherpas were there, Kamit Sering and Kushang Sherpa. In that team, I think Ujjwala was there and some other people there. So it was Vidyut Sarkar Chorda and Manikda, both the kind of legendary mountaineers. They are on the top of that one, but they followed that. So when I followed this one, I find another one in 1984. There were an alpine style move by some three guys or two guys from Pune. I don't have that one here, and they followed the similar route and they continued and they climbed that too in the post monsoon. So that was that. So this is the end of that one. So it was last visited that peak in 1984. So 20 years after, it would be there. And as it is on the border of the Indochina and quite inside the inner line and not in the least of the Uttar Pradesh. So we had a really trouble. We had a big trouble to get the permission, even as it is not in the list of the permitted peaks. So we have to take the permission to tell them that what is the name of the peak we are going, because the inner line. So we have to tell the nearby one, the Trishuli, Lompok, and that side to permission to go inside, and we just manage that one. So ultimately, when I was given the chance, I told Fenrir PM Dash, that is, sir, I need one of your Punjab police guy who has seen the peak, because 20 years nobody has gone. How the peak look like from there? At least he has seen from the top. So, but he was going to Choma. He said, no, it's not possible. So finally, he has given me, Mohanlal, is H.C. Mohanlal. So I made him the deputy leader of the team, H.C. Mohanlal. And the members I took from all over India, from Ashish Singh from Uttar Pradesh. He is in the Uttar Pradesh or Uttarakhand Police in Dehradun now. He later climbed Mount Everest too. Biplab Mondol, he's from Chittaranjan, a very young guy. That time I think he's 23 or 22. Nandadulal Das, he is from Guwahati, from Assam mountaineering session, I think, and he also climbed Mount Everest later. Prosenjit Samanto, I think most of the Bengali friends, they know him. Prosenjit was a young guy then. And Chandrasekhar Shirshat, he's from, there's a Chandrasekhar Shirshat, he's from Mumbai. and he is working the Eastern Railway. And then it was from the Gajpal Singh Rathore. Hello, hello. I just start that one. The team it is sorry is Arjun Petkar. Arjun Petkar was from Pune. He's a sport climbing guy as well. So he's from Pune. He works in the ordnance factories. Then Uttarakhand Police is Ashish Singh. Then it was Chandrasekhar Sishat. He is in the Eastern Railway, but he loves this kind of pneumatic power because his father works with this. So the road was under construction that time. Biplab Mondal from West Bengal. I'm coming back to them. Is Mohanlal from Panjas Police. I already told about him. Nandulal Das from Guwahati. This is the place where we just arrange took all this equipments and ride up. Gajpal Singh Rathore, he's from Jaipur. Now he works with Raymonds. I think he's South India's one of the chief guys of Raymonds, Bangalore. Prashanjit Samanto for Calcutta and Debabrata Mukherjee leader Calcutta. আমি জানি বাংলায় বললে সুবিধা হবে কিন্তু হ্যাঁ পুনার ছিল হচ্ছে অর্জুন পেটকার. So we were in when he assembled the train, we had 4 days in IMF. So we assembled 26 August, 26th August. We are there in IMF, and 27, 28, 29, 30th, 31st. 5 days we stayed there. I arrived there 26th. Others are slowly arrived, and we started buying the things, packing everything. Nowadays, that days during our time, it was everything should be organized. In fact, in the beginning, they asked me for the budget. I gave a budget of 4,45,000 because the technical peak we need a lot of equipment stuff. But however, out of that 4,45,000, which I've given the budget, finally the cost of that expedition, was 2,74,048, and 1,60,000 was IMF's equipment charges. It was there. So, however, we started practicing there in the morning. I wanted to see that how the people are who are going to, because I am the oldest, of course, 43 years then, and then it was Mohanlal. He was, I think, 35 or something. Others are all in their 20s. So I just checked their belays and also the how they climb the rock, etc. So we are checking in the morning. Then on 31st, we are flagged off. In the middle, you can see it's NN Vora. And that time, then Colonel Jamal, he was Dhimawal, he was the director I'm at that time. It's Mohanlal, Gajpal, Aziz, and all us. Flag, flag off ceremony on 31st. And after 31st, I'm using this microphone of the laptop, so that's like that only. So we are on 31st evening itself, we just started from IMF. This is the IMF. And from there we reach Joshimot on 1st. And then again, after checking all that, inner line permit, Flores permit, all that, and buying the vestibule, etc. Finally, on 3rd of September, we started. But just at the starting for the Maladi and that 8 kilometer where up to which we will go by the jeeps, we just only after 8 kilometers it's the September, so all the rain was there. There's a huge landslide, so we have to arrange again the place. Some extra jeeps. We are taking 3 jeeps, I think, and so we made the transshipment. You see that all the members are coming with them, and only the members, and we had some porters, some 9 porters or something. Out of them, I think 4 were Garhwalis and others were Nepalese. So transshipped again, we started, and by afternoon, giving a stop in Malari, where we collected one guide. because that area, even the roads are not there, the trees are all grown up. So we needed some people, some, the veduwalas or the shepherds who goes to that site. And the name of this is that, that's we call the Chilkwa or Barsoli or Busreli, they call it. So finally, with a stop lunch break and also talking to that guy, that he said that, oh, nobody goes there. I said, but we need to go there. But you can't go there, he said. But it's okay that as far as you can go, please take us. We'll go there. However, we continued with that. And then we reached the place known as the 8 kilometer. Is 8 kilometer from the India-China border. And there the height is 9657 feet. And that is the place. There's road going towards this, towards our the left of the screen. Is going towards the border, the Sima or Shimana, they call it the Simana. And here we just had our tents on the road itself because no traffic, nothing there, under a very big rock wall and overhang. In the evening, we just walk up this as far as we can go and came down. And the next day, we'll be crossing this one to go to our, the start our walking. So this is the next day morning. We have started for that our trek for the next place, which is Chilkwanj. So here, after the all this program, I made one, the my GPS. From the GPS, I made the route map. So here, we just the 8 kilometer. We were where we got down from our jeep, crossing the bridge. We came to TC1, which is nearby the Chilkwanj, or crossing the Chilkwa. In fact, we went up to the Barsoli, cutting the the plants and making ups and downs because he's all the Vedwalas as far as you know. And he was also forgetting because nowadays nobody goes there in that area. And by the side that river was there on our side. And next we'll go to the TC2, which is nearby that the we have in fact the TC2 was a glacier, Siranj glacier snout. Then we'll go to the recce to the base BC, we'll go to the actual position of the base, etc. We'll do that one. Finally, we'll reach the BC. And in fact, we went up to this camp on the first day when we do that. Because from our all the studies, we found that which in 1974 that the Himalayan Association wrote that the base camp was in the junction of a glacier coming to the Siranj glacier from the Lompok. So there should be a glacier down from this side to Lompok, from Lompok to this Siranj glacier meeting point. It will be a big junction of the glacier, and we should see that one. And then we have to go up. But we didn't find until we go another 1.5 kilometer up to the glacier too. So we came there, but I will come to the story later. Then we came back again, had our own BC. Then we went to Camp 1, Camp 2, and the summit. Though we didn't have to put the Camp 2, we did Camp 1 to summit straight. So that's over here. So we started from 8. From there, we just went up through all this to Busreli, our first camp. Then we came to the Siranj Glacier Snout, Sirwanj Glacier. Though the glacier snout was there, but actually the glacier snout start from here. In 20 years, the glacier receded a lot, in fact. And then when we found that the one glacier, finally we found that it's from Lompok 2, the glacier is coming and meeting here. But here, according to the Himalayan Association report, the glacier should come over here, but we didn't see the glacier finished here only. So we didn't find the glacier. So far, we made a mistake and we went up to there. Later we have to come down, and then we have to come down to make the BC again. Then we went up. First day we climbed the rock and went to the Camp 1 and came down to find the original route of the Himalayan Association because we didn't find. We made a straight wall, and later we started used to go there. This one only me and Mohanlal went to fix first day's route. And these are west ridge of that one, which Himalayan Association climbed from Camp 1 and Camp 2. They climbed this way and climbed that, but we couldn't do that one because of the bad weather and terrible wind. So we had to go there to the end of the where the Milam Glacier side. We went up there and made a route which the Himalayan Association said is not possible because the Corniche and there is a adity going down there to Milam Glacier. But we climbed that one only, which is kind of impossible to climb there. So that's our route, in fact. And the area where the exploration camp written down here is the area. You can think that this picture was taken from actually the J, the of course the G or the Google Earth one, but you can think that is the people has taken from the Trishuli. So, however, we started the morning of the 4th. We are going 4th September to Busreli. Slowly, we went up straight through the the kind of a gully first with all the moraines, with occasional the winter snow still there or permanent snow. Then we find after turning towards the Chilkwanj, that's one Veduwala. Luckily, he's going back because it's already September, so he is going back. He said, "No, this is up to there we come and we are going back. We won't go." Is Arjun from Pune? He's talking with the Veduwala, and our guide. He was an old man. I will show him. He only knew up to there, but we still continued with him some other another next day. So we came up that we made that Veduwala over here, and then we came down over there, crossed the river, came up over this. We had a camp in this area the night before. That is on the night of Chilponch camp that once. Then the 4th, and then we are continuing to the 5th on the Sirwanj Glacier Snout, which will be 12,908 feet. So it's Gachpal looking down. Gachpal and me, we were we stuck generally by the end and we used to go in the front. Me, Gachpal, and Mohanlal, we two in the front. So we reached the place ultimately, another place, the camp, which is the TC1. There's the Chilkwanj, sorry, this is the Chilkwanj camp again. We took that photo from up there and then we continued towards that, and we had the first view of the Uja Tirche. Our guide, so peak hai. So this is the peak. How it looks like, you can try to remember. It's totally without snow, nice rock wall. The Scottish team with Murray, they climbed from this side and they crossed all these gendarmes, and they followed this nice one and went up. But we thought we'll do make some new thing because that Himalayan Association, I think they thought that it'll be easier side, so we'll coming from that side and follow this easier slope. We thought, in fact. So we have to go down now. You can see all these junipers, etc. End of snow, the September, the middle of snow is the middle of September. However, we have to cross a lot of rivers. It's really a very much as it always happens in September, the water coming down, Busreli, and he is our guide. That guy, he was also a Veduwala, and it's myself. He was telling me that's the peak, and I was watching and thinking that okay, why not that Scottish route? That looks more interesting. But then we thought that already planned the camp, etc. So we'll do that. And soon we find this, the Uja Tirche, which showed us the peak is still far away. In fact, it's a faraway peak. Nobody knows. The name came from that Uja Tirche or the sharp high. And then we had to go down. We had to go down. In fact, the glacier snout should be here. But you can see this terminal moraine going up to here, and the glacier only starts over here. So it's about a kilometer that glacier went, the back, receded about a kilometer. So we thought that we'll have a camp over there. Finally, we went there and we had our, the glacier snout camp over here on the lateral moraine side. We had our second day camp, which is just 12,908. That means only some 600 feet, 200 meters we have up, but it took a whole day to walk because we had to find out the places, and also it's ups and downs, in fact. So that's a GPS story given you, 2.3 kilometers aerial distance. And we had a very nice, the area on the lateral moraine side with on the left lateral moraine with a very nice water, the water, the fountain there, waterfall. Next day, as it always happens with me, by far, I think that everybody knows, or the porters, they said, no, we'll not go. We are supposed to come to the glacier airport now, we'll not go inside. And what to do? So I have to make them, if you don't go, I'm not going to pay you. And I will take with this, your bosses. You can't do anything with me. Is the Nepalese mostly they made the problem. So I finally tell the Nepalese, okay, let's see what's going on. And those 4 Garwali porters, we had 3 HAPs too. And finally, we just went up. And what I did said, I said, okay, I'm going in the front. Where I stopped, that's the base camp, because we don't know where the base camp. And only thing I knew about the base camp, that where the glacier will be coming down from the Lompoc side and will meet this Sirwanj glacier, then only we'll find that is the base camp style. But on the right side, there is no glacier coming down. And so I was moving. About 3 hours later, I found that the Lompok 2 side, that glacier came down to meet at least some looks like glacier, because others were some hanging glacier up there. I will show you. So we had camp over there, the first base camp or the exploratory camp, we named it. So there itself, next morning we thought this is base camp, so let's have the base camp establishment. And as we happened, I just did that, the base camp establishment, prayed to the sun god to have good weather, etc. But maybe we just changed the site for this base camp, so we never had good weather, as it always happens. And I get the maximum long bad weather spell in my life in that expedition. 10 days of continuous snow, the entry of the winter that time. So I will talk about that. So finally, we had that on 6th of September, we had our base camp, and that too about 14,662 feet. That means going about 100, 700, about 600 meters high in the glacier, we went up to have that. So the porters were not very happy, but we just tell them, okay, you can go, no problem. And we had one, we bought one goat and walked it, and just I think Prasenjit and others, they killed the goat, and we had some good meat there. And maybe the bad weather is for that one, because it's just outside of the Nanda Devi sanctuary. So here in front of us, the Trishuli is Trishuli, not Trishul, the northernmost area of the sanctuary. You can see that which is the highest one, known as the Hardewal, and the other to the main, and the east peak is there. It's very good picture of the Trishuli all the way. You can see a 7,000 feet wall going up to 7,074 meter. And then that day, after the worshipping and all these things done, we said, but where is the peak? We cannot see, because on the other side we can only see, that is what I was watching. You see that only the side, the straight things coming on is playing both sides. We are kind of in a gorge, so we cannot see any kind of the peaks. So finally we said, okay, let's go on the other side, climb and try to find out the peak. So finally we must go near the glacier. So with the Lompoc glacier side, we went about another 1.5 kilometers ahead, and we went up on the other side wall. You can see we are about 300 meters up on the other side, and then we find the peak. Our goal is about 2 kilometers behind and high up through a kind of there's a landslide area is the only way to go inside. And that landslide is this kind of places, straight wall coming down. So we have to first negotiate that one. I think in 74 or 84, this place might be that one, but not this kind of. It's like when you climb up to Topobone or Nandanbone, the sides are 5 times the higher on your both side, and straight those kind of stuff. So that the Trishuli, and there is another peak, is beautiful peak is there on the end, the Hardwal there, and the other peak is there in the end. So we came down from there, and we find that we made a mistake. So that evening, it was beautiful that evening. We had this in a kind of a full moon time, so the weather was also not very good. So the Trishuli looks fantastic. I had a very bad camera, so took this photo over there. So next day we came back, and we started the down ferry, 2 kilometers down. We already marked that from which place we need to go out. So we made a that's up there, and finally we just went up, made a 2 kilometers down at a place, the base camp there, and instead we went up to, as I say, that is we came down to that place, the original base camp area. Wait, paper. And that is only 14,180 feet. That means we had to come down 500 feet. So this is the place towards the Lompoc where we went up. That's we thought that this is must be the glacier. In fact, the Lompoc glacier also went up very much. Lompoc 2 glacier and Lompoc 1 glacier, you will see that where it is. So Lompoc 2 glacier, there's no glacier meeting down, so we made that mistake. So we followed this side to go up to find that we went up to there to see that Debabrata Tirche peak there. And so we went down. We made the down ferry 3 times to make our base camp down here. And that's the sides as it looked like. We have to find out some place to go up. So base camp is 14,180 feet. And next morning, we just made everything out after reaching that base camp area. That is on the 14th, 6th of the September. And then we just laid out all the equipments, etc., because it's a technical climb. We knew food, everything packed. People are resting. I had three of this, the people who were there. That is, as a hap, is a Raju Bhatt, who was very old by that time. Another person, his name was Lakshman. The other third one is another Raju, his name was, but he's a Nepali guy. And then one cook and one helper we had. And this is Lompak. This is Lompak, and that's the Lompak Glacier where it is now. So we could not, that know, and always that from that side, the hanging glacier side, the avalanches were coming down to that side. So there was no glacier meeting in the Sirvanj Glacier. Yeah, that's a little bit more. That's the Lompak Glacier went up, from totally up from the Sirvanj Glacier, no glacier point here, totally dried. So that's why we missed. And the other side, that's the area where we need to climb to go there. And this is the beginning of that ridge, southwest ridge, which Calcutta's team, Himalayan Association, and then those two Pune guys, they climbed later. So, but we didn't have any ideas. It's only that some of the ideas we went there, we traversed, etc., etc. But the actual route is where we didn't get any of the maps or any of the photos before the expedition we find. So we find a straight wall after this event, a rock wall. And we didn't know that, no idea that this is the way we have to go. So we have to climb straight way. But what we did, I find that there is a nala coming down, a water stream. So if we can go up to there, this side is difficult, very difficult. So there, and then what we did after there, we met some jig-jag over there first day. Second day, we find even from the top, a little bit down, jumping and running around to go over there, and then traverse there to go there, and ultimately climbing up, go there, and this way to go up the rock, which is about, let's say, 700 to 800 feet. So that's the first level. So this is the winter snow still there. So we have to climb up from here and then to the right side, follow. So as it's happening, we are going to, climb up this way. We have to go and then go inside there. So this is how finally we went up to that, landslide area, found some grassy land, and finally went up to the place. This is straight above the base camp. So that's on. We are going on this. That's 9th of September. We made two teams. The first team consisting of myself, Gajpal, and Prashanjit, Mohanlal, and maybe Nandalal or somebody, and the Haps were there. So we went up there. I'm already there, maybe. We're sitting over there and watching when the others are coming. Me and Mohanlal generally were leading. This is taken much later, but to tell you how it looks like. So you see that the Lompoc Glacier up there, which was supposed to be up to here to the glacier bed, and we came up from down here. We are still coming up through this bed, through this kind of terrain. And now we are above the top. We put some flags. Our tents are over here only, in this place. So this is the Lompoc Glacier on the other side. These are the walls going up, and this side the similar kind, only that where this kind of trees there we could have done up. Yes, so that's a kind of a little bit zoomed. Our tents of the base camp down here, we are up. So we are going to have the Camp 1 to Lot Ferry to Camp 1, which will be 16,684. That means about 1,500 feet higher than the base camp. Okay, so there. Then the next 200 feet height is like that, grassy slope, very nice. And then we have this wall, and there's a wall continue this way and coming down. So what's there? So when you reached on the point over here, we have the only thing that either we climb this wall or we traverse this wall, what to do? And actually, we didn't go that side. We thought that we have to climb that wall because we didn't read anything. With that, we have to traverse and climb some rocks and reach the camp, base camp. So when we reached there, it was Mohanlal and me. I just like, okay, let's open the route. So it was myself and then Mohanlal is there, and then others we asked to come up. But after reaching over here, all the others, including Prasenjit, they said, okay, you go up, we'll follow, we'll see. So finally, you can see this chimney area and the rock wall. Yes, some of the haps they come up to here and they left their loads and they went back. So it was only me and Mohanlal. Ashish was there too. Ashish and Prasenjit they stopped. And then it was me and Mohanlal. We continued, we climbed this rock wall and the chimney inside, and we climbed up on the top. And then we covered on the gendarmes, crossing all the rocky ridge. It was a pure rocky ridge like this going on. And then we just went down on the other side. I don't have the photos there. Some of the climbs were really interesting. Over 2,000 feet of the open, the rock means rock face. You have seen the rock side of the before the how the Uja Tirche looks like. So it is from on that ridge only. So climbing on that face and straight up, Mohanlal belaying me without any anchor because there is no anchor point. He is just holding, but I trust him. He is a big Punjabi guy, so he can hold me. That was my trust. And I'm also quite big, but that was my trust. He can hold me. So we continued with that. And this is for the back. And then finally we went down to that, in between the places. In fact, the camp one was behind this side, not that side. So we went there, climbed that rock, and went up there, found that rock piton led by either the Himalayan Club or by the those people. Two rock pitons we found, and that is marked our okay. This must be the place, and we continued a little bit to find a camping area where we find that the kitchen means a little flat ground on the wall kind of places. So we had the camp on. We just dumped our load, me and Mohanlal. Yes, we ferried a lot of loads too, both of us, and nobody else went up. So we came down. On the way down, we followed this, kind of that nala kind of stuff, the gully. And then when we came down, this is next day when the second team went up through the route that which we came down. During that, also they had to come down and go by the rope fixing. They did that. On the way down, we took some rope and we just, kind of rappelled down these ways. And next day also we have to climb up these rocks. That is the other side, but easier. So this is the easier side how it looks like. But then day before we have to climb this whole rock wall to cross all this rocky ridge to that. And while coming down, we came from this one. This is me. We are going up much later with Jumar, etc. And this is, I think, Arjun is, or maybe someone is waiting down there. So that's the total view that finally the camp one was here. On the way up, we went down there, but way down, it was the Prasenjit and other. We had the, the wireless. So they are sitting on the grass and they were giving us, no, 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 go right side, left side, and you can find some places to go down. So we found some, made the route like this, and then this way going up. We made the fixed rope and went up there. So went down the other day, and the next day the people. So then we came down. Next day, that is on 10th, the B team, they ferried, but the bad weather started now. In fact, when we came down, the bad weather started from the evening, and then the next day onwards, from 10th, it was full bad weather. It started snowing, so they are going up and down through that. And on 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, 3 days, we are totally sitting down in the base camp. Okay, so when we came down after that rock wall, after this rock wall, we have to come down this side, and then we find that traverse. This traverse is a high, you can see that a straight traverse with a spree. How I opened that route, God knows. And it was taken by Mohanlal. I think the picture, I was opening the route the very first day, going up there and through this town, went up here to the rock because this would be too much to, without belay to go up. And I was fixing the rope there and find out one piece of, the piton also here, luckily to fix up the rope, and then went down to turn to that grass area. So that's the total area. So this is the area finally. The next day when they go up. And how it comes, so the grass, the base camp, people coming up, the grass, coming this way, the traversing, this way traversing, and then climbing up this rock wall to come to the Camp 1. So, however, all the people coming up this way, this is I think Raju or somewhere, everywhere the rock climbing this way, for then they will go up. This is again me and is during the coming down, I think, the day we are coming down. That date was taken just to put it in the front. So finally, on 14th of September, we thought that it's enough. We can't sit down here because the porters will be coming back to for the down ferry. So it was 5 members and 3 HAPs. 5 members means it's with me it was Mohanlal, then Ashish, Gajpal. Oh, sorry, 6 members we went up. Prosenjit and Biplav. We 6 went up. Nanda Dulal, Arjun, and Shishat, that is uh, the Chandrasekhar, they said they won't go. We are 9 members altogether. So they said they won't go because the weather is too bad. 3-4 days is continuous snowfall down there. So a little bit, better we went up. But once we started making the tent pitching area, so it started snowing again. It started snowing again, and just see what happens. It's 16,684, that is after 1,500 meter, and 3 halves, as I said, Raju and Lakhan, both the old halves. So after making the tents, though the inside was very bad, it was me, Prasenjit, and I think Gajpal Mohanlal was in one tent, the other tent. Within 2 hours, it looks like that. And it continued again for another 2 days. So, the bad weather that we cannot come out of the tent for 2 days. So that's on 15th we are in the tent itself. Nothing but I think once me and Gajpal and Mohanlal went out to find out where it could be the Camp 2 area. But it looks like that is impossible to go because everything, the rocks and those boulder field is under snow. So we couldn't go up. So we are used to have these 2 tents face to face, and we used to talk from inside the tent, though the blizzard is coming through. So we had the nets and we are talking through that. Only on the 16th morning, we thought that 16th morning, whatever we need to have a try, or at least to Camp 2 or whatever we can. So on 16th morning, we got up at 4 o'clock, but it was bad weather. Slowly, it started getting a little bit clear. So we thought it will be clear. And finally, it was only Camp 1, no Camp 2 even. So when he said that, okay, let's try, Prasenjit said, how far will you go? I said that we don't know. We'll go to Camp 2 and maybe we'll try as long as far as we can go. We'll see. So he said, then I am not going. So Prasenjit didn't go. So at 5 of us, including Biplav, Ashish, Gajpal, myself, and Mohanlal, and the 3 halves, we started at 6:40. Within 1.5 hours, by 8:30, I think 8:30, 1.5 hours, 140 minutes, we reached the Camp 2 area, which is at 17,943 feet. So it's not that much, about 1,100 feet. We were because we were fully acclimatized then. So 1,000, that is about 300, 400 meters. It took only 1 hour in that height too. And we are all very, very strong then. So we went up there. But after reaching, when we reached there, the weather again started the snowing. So when he reached there, Biplav said he is not feeling well. And the other 3 have said, no, sir, we are not going. We are not here to die. So me talked with Mohanlal, Gajpal, and Ashish. We said, okay, let's move. So we told the porters that, okay, 2 of you make a tent. 2 of you just pitch a tent. Sorry. And wait here till 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. If we don't return by the afternoon, then you can leave. Then you can send a search party, or we think that we'll come back by the afternoon if the weather is like that. But what happened later, I will tell you. So we pitched the tent, and they had this. So we had, early in the morning when you started, far away we can see Kamet, Abigamin, those peaks, and then Mana. We can see those peaks early in the morning. And then we said, okay, let's start. But how to start? So we said that let's put all those flags, because it's so much soon afterwards, it's so much, the foggy, that it's so much foggy. So we can, that we cannot see each other. So what we did, we just put those demarcation flag on our back with equipments and all. we put our demarcation flags, that's just plugged in our rucksack, and we started moving. These were taken by, I think, that time mobile camera of Ashish. So I am moving front, then it's Mohanlal, then Gajpal, or maybe Gajpal and Mohanlal, and last Ashish. In the beginning, when we continued with that kind of the flat area of that Nala area we called, uh, it was without rope, but soon it was, we were by the side. The Calcutta team, they climbed by one of this kind of this, the Kuloa, and they got the southeast ridge and continued. We went up. We went to the top, but the wind speed is so high, we are falling down from that one. So we came down again through this couloir later. So we went up and came down again. So it's not possible to go up there. So we continued this. We thought that okay, this ridge will continue and meet that ridge, which is suppose cannot be climbed. So let's continue. So we are continuing here is the Camp 2 was in 17,943. So Biplov and the three HAPs, they returned, and four members, that myself with Gajpal, Mohan, and Ashish, we continued. On the other side, we can see that the sun is behind that. It was this, that the clouds and foggy so much. We know that this is kind of a gorge. We cannot get lost. We only need to go down, and then we'll find our camp. So there is no, chance of getting lost. So we can continue even in this fog and blizzard. So this is taken by me, and that's when we started that camp tent area. That they are making the tent, and they are supposed to stay here till 2:30 or 4. If we don't return, they will send a search party. That was we told them. So we continued towards the Milam Glacier, and time to time we put one or two flags and resting a little bit, because after this we'll just make a big traverse under the buttress of the south face. So now we are on the south face buttress, and now we'll continue a traverse over this, the ice snow covered rock. Finally, we can see on the other side. This is he's taken the camera. I don't think that he is the gradient is the correct, because you see that people are tilting that side, so gradient should be much more higher, and we can't see. And then time to time we are trying to go and climbing a step like that, and then go again a little bit flat, then go climbing another step and continue. And total, that's, I don't know whether you can see this area. This is the place that is the wall is coming down straight, we can see, but I don't think you can see that one. So it will be there. So that's the gradient going down, and now we are roped up, because a small fall over this slippery, the icy verglassed rocks could be really fatal. So moving on by the rock, and at places by I think 12:30 or something, we had a stop to just chew some chocolates and some juice, and then again continue. Now we reached in the end, and when we reached by the end of this one, the ridge meets. We find that no, there is no meeting of this the southwest ridge, northeast ridge, and this face, this ridge. And only on the right side we found down there is going down a straight rock wall to the Milam Glacier side. So we started climbing this jutting rock. You can also see that the actual thing is that the gradient is not like that. You can see this standing like that way. In fact, his gradient is much more. We started climbing the face. Is by some mobile camera of 2005, not very good. And here you can see that a wall kind of things going up. So that one, and down there straight is that the Milam Glacier. So that's again that area, that wall going down there. That's a gap totally. Another side going down Milam Glacier area. So now we turn backwards and started climbing this, and we have to climb this through this buttress rock wall, and with the snow and blizzard going on all the time, windy. When we are too tired, we are giving a stop. Still very smiling faces, all very happy guys. And finally, a little bit clear in the backwards, we see that the wall on the back going up, and this side straight down to the Milam Glacier. A little bit far away, we are kind of reaching higher and higher. So it was around 3:30, 3:35 that we stopped. And Mohanlal told me, sir, is already 3:35. Just before stopping, Mohanlal told me, sir, 3:35, and we still cannot see the peak. And where we are going, we don't know what to do. I said, okay, if we can't see the peak within another 10 minutes, we'll return. Because that time we found already seen that the till 8:15 the sunlight is there. It's in September, so the sunlight is quite, and it's quite west, so it's possible to see the sunlight and also reflection from the Tibetan plateau. It was moonlit night, so but it was bad weather. And then suddenly at 3:35 we have seen the peak, finally a straight wall going up, and we are on a ridge, and this is the northeast ridge going up there with the face and with the south face of that. So we had to stop. So final that we have to go through this one, hit this face, the pyramid, the summit pyramid, and climb up that, climb up to the top of that one. So that's the summit over there. This is not the summit. In fact, behind a little bit, you can see this little line. That's the Cornish, and that's over there the west ridge, southwest ridge, where the Himalayan Association climbed. So we had a last stop. We continued, and then we continued again. So the summit is over there only. So it was there. We're going to stop, and this is you can see the gradient of the ridge where we are standing, in fact, and we can see getting down to the Milam Glacier area straight. And we continued again that gap. I'm continuing, and this is area is quite nice. Is not that much. Only thing is that we will try it. Say after that, so around 1635, finally we reached the place, and we could see the last Cornish, and that every side is going down. And finally we made a hole over there to peep on the other side what's there, and we found that the other side nothing. That means we are on the top of Mt.Uja Tirche, and this is going down the southwest ridge there. You can see that it was three of us. It's taken by the Gajpal, the photo, Mohanlal, Ashish, and me. This is the Cornish going on, and Ashish put the Uttarakhand police, the flag over there. To do that, made a hole in the Cornish there, also all the sides. 4:35 final reach. So this is that reach that is the Scottish team came up to us. Yes, that is going down there, far away, going on the other side. That is okay. That's the wall we are seeing towards the Milam Glacier is the route we came up. So that's we are higher than this. The peak, small peak on the Milam Glacier side, that is the place. We could see a little bit that we are higher than wall. So we have seen that wall when we all on the other side. So that is the wall. This is the side that is going there, the Scottish team side. Yes, now we can see we are on the top. A little bit better weather it become. So we are standing over there on the top. This is the Scottish. There is a, I think that the south. It is the west ridge. This is the other ridge that which we are supposed to take. Yes, from there. We're trying to take as many as photos as possible. And finally, the GPS gave us the height 20,315 feet in that place. The actual, the latitude, longitude perfectly matched. Only that's the 20,315 feet is for the weather, I think, because the actual height should be 350 or 348 like that. So that's how we came. 8 kilometers was really there. We had the exploration camp, saw that peak, were there, and to the Uja Tirche high up there. So that's how the story we went there. On the way down, that's high up in the Cornish, we made the hole and did the puja. It's snowing all the time. It's blizzard and snowing. It was we could not light this incense sticks. The way down, it was another thing. When it went up, people were so happy on the top. They made this side, that side. They made a really big knot in the rope. So I'm waiting down there. They're trying to make that, the you can see the knot how it looks like. They're trying to make it untie that knots, and I'm waiting and thinking that I have to go down now all this way, and it's already about 5:10 or something like that. So you have to go down. So it was easy a little bit trying to find out the easier way where the snows are there and not that we are not on any rocky places, finding out the route. And so we came down. There's a story that we came down. This is not that day, there's an exact story. So we came down finally at 8:30. We came down to Camp 1. midway I lost one of my, I think that extra socks, etc. So we came out 8:30. We had the head torches to find that the camp 2 there is nobody. The whole tent is under the stone, under the snow and broken. The snow is broken totally. That nobody is there. And then we continued again, and 21:15 or 21:45, another 1 hour 10 minutes, we reached the camp 1, and everybody is inside tent. Nobody has no the kind of anxiety that we are not back, and everybody was we shouted and all that, and then one by one then came out. No food and nothing also kept ready. They cannot even cook the even a class, or they made somehow I think the cup of tea, and we had a, I think, the tin of rasgulla. So we had that rasgulla and the tea and slept. Next morning, the HAPs, they went up to the bring that broken tent from the camp 2, and we went down. Still the bad weather continues. We came down to the rock and we collected all the things. Especially, I must thank Gajpal. Gajpal and myself, we took the extra loads, huge loads, to take all the garbage on our back. We came down to the base camp, and that day itself, the porters arrived. Next day, that is on uh, 18th, 16th we climbed, 17th we came down to base camp. In the evening, the porters arrived, so it was, we were lucky. 18th, so we climbed directly from the camp 1, which is 16,684 to 20,350, directly on with in that blizzard, in that terrain, and by a route which is not the virgin route there. So we came out there in camp 1, sorry, the transit 1. We came down on 18th. We tried to dry down our socks and everything was wet. On 20th, after a long, long time, after 10 days, the sun shines again. And that day we came down to 8 kilometer. It was sun signed again. We found some bumblebees. Of course, this fen kamal was there. We found the route again back. You see that how it looked like when we went up there, and how. So this is the to comparison. So when we went up, it looks like this. Uja Tirche, this is the peak. This is as I said, this ridge is for those the Scottish team in 1935 Murrays, and this is the route for the Himalayan club that which we went and climbed there and went from this rock ridge. We climbed and went down there on the other side, and we followed the ridge which you cannot see, the face, south face. We climbed, in fact, how it looked like when it went up and how it looked like now after 10 days of snow. So we climbed with that one. The snow is flying off, still a windy, very, very windy. It looks like this. That's the Hardawal also looks like that. And the sideways. And then we just came down to the gorge, took a little bit different route. We found another Veduwala on the way. He said, no, there is another route. But there we come down through this very steep rock. It was really dangerous. The ships and boats they can, but we were having problem really to coming down to the riverside. So Shimana is this way. There's a tabletop near the Shimana or the India-China border. And that's how we went to the 8 kilometer TC1, TC2, UTBC. All the marking in that my GPS was there. Then what we did, the exploratory camp, back to the BC, TC2, camp 2 we made, then to the summit camp, and to the summit. We made it that way. So that's how it happened. Now I find that one name is not there. I have to put it there. So this is how the story of our, that so this is how the story of Uja Tirche goes for 2005. So I think that is, I can come back. I think Rajesh can back on me in the middle. So so that's the story of Uja Tirche. I think all my expedition starts in a very nice way. I'm very happy, in fact, whenever I start an expedition, and I always think that everybody will move in a very nice, calm and way, and it will be easy route. We'll be walking up and no bad weather, etc. But I don't know what happens with my destiny and the mountains. It always becomes some problem with the porters. It's always have the problem with the weather. It's always the terrains, the changes, their features. always it becomes the glacier, they just receded, and I find that the, some moraines or moraine wall and then rocks and ice and all this problem. But I'm always lucky with my teammates, I must say that my teammates are great, and always they support me. I don't know why and how, but my teammates, as I want as a leader, I'm always very happy because my teammates, they always trust me and I always trust them. I believe in their capacity and they believe in mine. So that's how we just continue. I think that there must be. Uh, I don't think that is from Chandrasila. You can see that one the Lumpak South. It could be difficult because Chamba Lumpak is quite high up. Uh, so it's forget about all that. Uh, okay, so this is, I will finish.
Thank you, Devida. তো ইনি ছিলেন মিস্টার দেবব্রত মুখার্জি, দ্য 1D of the D companies of West Bengal Mountaineering Circle. একটা দুর্দান্ত প্রোগ্রাম। দেবুদা, কিছু প্রশ্নগুলো ছিল যেটা আমি পুট আপ করেছিলাম, সেই প্রশ্নগুলো অনেক আগে ছিল, তাহলে আমি কিছু প্রশ্নগুলোটাকে জেনে নিব আপনার কাছ থেকে।
আমি যদি বলেন আমি বলতে পারি।
একটা ছিল যখন আপনি দেখাচ্ছিলেন একদম স্টার্টিং এ ক্যাম্প 1 এর কাছে ওয়ালের হাইট কত, আর একজন জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলেন কি উইদাউট এনি বিলে সেফটি ওটা কি ক্লাইম করা হয়েছিল?
আমরা যে প্রথম যে ওয়ালটা ক্লাইম করেছিলাম ওই চিমনিটা, যেটা আর কি আমি বুঝতে পারছি। আচ্ছা, আমার কি ওইটাকে আবার কি আমি তাহলে শেয়ার করব নাকি বা স্ক্রিনটাকে কি ফিরিয়ে আনবো ওটাকে?
হ্যাঁ, স্ক্রিনটাকে আমি আনবো।
হ্যাঁ, স্ক্রিনটাকে ফিরিয়ে আনুন তো, তাহলে আমি ওখান থেকে ব্যাক করতে পারবো আর কি। স্ক্রিনটাকে ব্যাক করে আনে আমি যদি ওয়ালের কাছে নিয়ে আসি, আমার মনে হয় সেখান থেকে দেখাতে সুবিধা হবে আর কি। যে স্ক্রিনটাকে আমি হ্যালো, আসবে কি? দেখো আসছে বলে নিশ্চয়ই।
হ্যাঁ, আমি স্ক্রিন আপনার নিয়ে
এবার আসবে। তো এই যে স্ক্রিনটা, এই ওয়ালটা, এটা আসবে আর কি, একটু ওয়েট করো, একটু আসছে। This screen is that, yes, that rock wall. That day we were carrying only climbing ropes. I think both of us carrying one climbing ropes. We had climbing rope. In this place, when we find that the rock is really terrible in the chimney, yes, we, Mohanlal was belaying, I was leading, but in fact we didn't have any point where I can, there's put some anchor or some zipping up the route. So in fact the chimney place and over the top there is no question, because we didn't have the other, I think that we did not put the anchoring point. Only that when Mohanlal was climbing, I did him the belay, but he was giving the, the kind of passing the rope. So even if I fall, he can stop my fall within the length of the rope. That's all.
There are a few more comments, so shall I read it out for you? একটা তো আপনি উত্তর আমার মনে দিয়ে দিয়েছেন, রাজকুমার খোসলা যেটা করেছিল। গ্রেট প্রেজেন্টেশন দেবুদা, থ্যাঙ্কস দ্য ইনস্টিটিউট অফ এক্সপ্লোরেশন টু মেক ইট হ্যাপেন। I have clicked photo of Lampak and Gorur from Chandrashila with an unknown peak peaking between Lampak South and Gorur. Now after going through this presentation, I believe it's Uja Tirche sharing this photo for confirmation. এটা আপনি উত্তর দিয়ে দিয়েছেন। আর এক দুটো আসছে, আপনার অন্য টিমটা তো শুধু ক্লাইম করলো না, তাই নয় মিনিমাম হেল্পও করতে পারলো না। এটা তো
এটা হচ্ছে তাদের ব্যাপার। দেখ, আমরা যে হ্যাপেদের, আমি কোনোদিনই ওই জন্য হ্যাপেদের উপর নির্ভর করি না বা শেরপাদের উপর নির্ভর করি না। উই টুক দ্য হ্যাপ ফর, বিকজ other teams they take the HAPs, nowadays they name them HAF, high altitude friends, because they take their help, they climb, they fix up the rope, and these other teams they just follow them. Even the big climbs, I have seen this, whatever the people talk about nowadays, oh they are doing technical climbs and all that one, because all done by their Sherpas, most of them they're done by their Sherpas or by their guides or the HAPs. But you can see over here, you can ask any of my teammates that in my team members, is I don't say that I am alone. My members, they fix up the rope, they do the things. HAPs means high altitude porter. Of course, they are friends in the mountain. They're very good. We need their help to carry the loads. I use them to carry the loads as a porter.
এটা
Because I pay them the porters. That's why. So
এটার প্রশ্ন
I
হ্যাঁ
don't try of them, but the other members who were there, I thought I scolded them also. That why didn't you even just go a little bit and check that whether we are alive or not? Because our the head torch was well, lighted, so they could have seen that we are coming down, but they didn't do that one. So that's a really bad thing, in fact.
There is one more question from Parimal Biswat. Can it be done in winter, that is in post monsoon?
We did it in post monsoon. That was in the September. We submitted on 16th of September. That's post monsoon, high post monsoon. In winter, you can't go. I think the Malari onwards, you can't go. It's the road is closed. Nobody goes there.
আরেকটা
So
প্রশ্ন
that's
আছে, আমি স্ক্রিনে নিয়ে আসছি, আপনি you can read it out. If anyone climb up and cross Satapant call from Satapant glacier in, then it is possible to enter Panpatia ice field by anywhere. আমি কোশ্চেনটা স্ক্রিনে পুট করে দিয়েছি,
and then
আপনি
আমি
ওটা
দেখেছি
দেখতে পারেন।
অভিজিৎ বসুর প্রশ্ন. If anyone
হ্যাঁ
climbed up
হ্যাঁ
and
হ্যাঁ
crossed Satapant call from Satapant glacier, if you go straight, Abhijit, if you go straight, cross straight, you will reach Gandharpangi. Because Satapant call in between the last peak and is not between the Sipton peak and the Chokhamba, is the last peak and the Chokhamba. But if you turn left, just hitting the Satapant call, turn left, you will enter the the upper Panpatia glacier. Otherwise, if you just cross that one, nobody does that now. Only that the time of Shipton did that. Martin also didn't do that. They came from Shipton's peak before. That where we went down, say about 100 meters ahead of that, they did that, crossing that, coming into the Panpatia glacier. So that's why Martin Moran's team did that in 2000. That did that. 98, sorry, did that. No, 2000 they crossed the opposite crossing, the front crossing, but you're not there. Okay, so I think that that's a different story from that one. You can ask me these questions. I think you will share it to the others. The Uja Tirche you didn't show is that because even the report is not there in the IMF journal for certain. I think that year we had a very big problem for publishing thing, etc., etc. So the Uja Tirche story was never published. So thank you, Mr. Exploration, and all others, and whoever present in that one. Not many people though. So thank you very much for.
থ্যাংক ইউ দেবিদা। আর কোনো প্রশ্ন নেই, কোনো অডিয়েন্সের প্রশ্ন নেই। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ ফর এত সুন্দর একটা এক্সপেডিশনটা দেখাবার জন্য, এত সুন্দর প্রেজেন্টেশনটা দেখাবার জন্য। অনেকগুলো কমেন্টগুলো এসেছে যেটা আমি কন্টিনিউয়াসলি পোস্ট করছিলাম, অল আর মেসমারাইজ। আর মানে অনেকগুলো শব্দগুলো বলেছে যেটা আমি অনেকগুলো বেরিয়ে গেছে, আমি স্ক্রিনে পোস্ট করেছিলাম। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ ফর মেকিং আওয়ার ইভিনিং ভেরি ফুলফিলিং। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ স্যার।
সকলকে নমস্কার, বাই।
Good evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, ইনি ছিলেন মিস্টার দেবব্রত মুখার্জি। আমাদের কালকে দুটো লাইভ শো আছে ফ্রম 7 PM। তো দুটো লাইভ আমি আপনাকে বলে দিই কালকে যেটা আমাদের রয়েছে। প্লিজ কাম টুমরো টু সি লাইভ। কালকে খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং টপিক আছে। এই টপিকটা দেখলে আপনি বুঝতে পারবেন। ওমেনিজম আমাদের একটা এক্সপেডিশনের টপিক আছে, যেখানে লেডিস এক্সপেডিশন নিয়ে আমাদের কাছে কালকে চলে আসবেন আমাদের ইনস্টিটিউটের ভাইস প্রেসিডেন্ট আরতি দি। কালকে যে দুটো আছে আমাদের, জাস্ট হোল্ড ফর এ সেক। ইয়েস। তো কালকে আমাদের যে প্রথম স্লাইডটা হবে, সেটা আমাদের ইনস্টিটিউটের দুজন মেম্বার, একটা আমাদের কারেন্ট ভাইস প্রেসিডেন্ট আরতি দি, বন্দনা দি কালকে এই প্রেজেন্টেশনটা করবেন। সেটা হচ্ছে টপিকটা আপনি দেখতে পাচ্ছেন, ভেরি ইন্টারেস্টিং টপিক, ওমেনিজম লেডিস এক্সপেডিশন বাই দ্য ইনস্টিটিউট অফ এক্সপ্লোরেশন। কালকে এটা বিকেলবেলা 7টার সময় থেকে আছে। আর সেকেন্ড যেটা এক্সপেডিশনটা আছে ওটাও খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং। স্টোরি অফ এভারেস্টার্স। একটু টেকনিক্যাল হিচ, but it's very irritating at this point of time, but এটা টেকনোলজি ব্যাপারটা, সেটা আউট অফ মাই কন্ট্রোল। The Story of Everester on 18th May, বিকেলবেলা রাত্রিবেলা 8টা থেকে, বাই অনুজা অ্যান্ড অদিতি বেদ্যা, বেদ্যা সিস্টার অ্যান্ড মলয় মুখার্জি। তো কালকে ভুলবেন না, কালকে দুটো অসাধারণ আপনি লাইভ শোটা দেখতে চলেছেন। একটা হচ্ছে লেডিস এক্সপেডিশন, একটা হচ্ছে বেদ্যা সিস্টার অ্যান্ড মানাস দার রয়েছে 8টা থেকে। 7টা থেকে আমাদের ইনস্টিটিউটের দুটো খুব সিনিয়র মেম্বার আর খুব নামকরা মাউন্টেনিয়ার লেডিস থেকে, উনি লেডিস এক্সপেডিশন নিয়ে বলবেন। সো ডু কাম টুমরো। ততক্ষণ আপনি ভালো থাকুন, বাড়িতে থাকুন, স্টে সেফ, স্টে এট হোম। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ অ্যান্ড গুড নাইট।